So here's how a reframe might sound. Someone might say, hey, how many certifications do your trainers have? Now, this is a trap question because it's basically a blind question where whatever you say in response, the prospect gets to be the judge of whether or not they accept that, and then they choose to buy or not. And you don't know what the right answer is. And so rather than answer the question, you ask a question about the question. And so you'd say something like, well, which certifications are you looking for specifically? The next version of this might be someone says, how many questions I'm going to be able to ask via email in support? Now, whatever number you give, they might say, oh, that's not enough, or that's too many, or whatever it is, and then they say, no, for that reason, I don't want to buy. So instead, you might say, well, why do you want to ask additional questions? How many questions do you want to ask? Is there a purpose that you're trying to solve with this? Like, what are you most afraid of? See, that was like 2 or 3 questions in a row that can reframe without answering the question they gave me. And one of the biggest lessons that I teach in sales is the person asking the questions is the one who's in control.
So basically, when you're doing an enrollment conversation, the first piece that you want to focus on is the intention of why you're doing the call, and you want to get the client with the proper intention for the call as well. So typically a client will show up to a call, and if it's coming from a marketing funnel where they're booking from a marketing system, a lot of times they're confused of what they booked and they don't even remember. So you have to deal with that. If it's coming from referral, they'll typically remember, but they won't really remember like what was the thing that interested them to book the call. So when somebody shows up to call, it's like, great, it's good to see you. What inspired you to show up to the call? And so the reason we want to know this is we want to get them reignited on the reason why they booked, and kind of get them into that moment where they booked, where they were excited, and get the excitement back. And so if you're doing this with a referral, it's like you met them at a networking event. You talked about, hey, this finance thing that I'm doing, you know, I've got this new investment vehicle. It's incredible. It's doing 3x what other things are doing. And then the client books a call with you, and then they forget. And it's like, great. So what inspired you to book the call with me? Oh, you know, it was about that 3x investment thing that you're doing. I remember you talking about blah, 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 and then they get excited. If it's a lead coming in from like YouTube or from Facebook advertising or Instagram, what typically happens is the person books a call, and if it's not done within 24 hours, they totally forget. If it's done like 48 hours, 72 hours, and then after 72 hours, you've lost them. They're onto something else and they're not going to show up. So you should never book a call beyond 72 hours, and likely you should book a call for the very next day. And so in that case, I would be like, great, so what's the thing in my YouTube video that inspired you to click and book a call? Or what's the thing in the ad that you had clicked on was XYZ? Like, what inspired you about that to book a call with us? Because if you don't do that, the typical answer that you get is like, what inspired you to book a call? Oh, it was free. Or, hey, I just wanted to show up and see, you know, and just chat more with you. But that's not an answer of like what's inspiring them to show up. So you got to get that, because that gets them in the present time moment of like, oh, I'm interested in this thing. I'm excited about this thing again, because they were excited at one point, and you get them excited again, and boom, this call starts. Then the second thing is, from a sales perspective, is then you got to set the intention of like, great, so let me tell you the intention of the call today and what I'd like to accomplish. Number one, I'd like to talk to you about your number one goal and what you'd like to accomplish as it relates to finance or health or whatever your topic is. Number two, I'd like to talk to you about the biggest challenge that's preventing you from accomplishing XYZ in this space or industry. And number three, I'd like to talk to you about and give you a plan and path to actually get there to accomplish your goals. Sound good? And the client's like, yeah, cool. So what's your number one goal as it relates to your finances and your wealth? If the topic's finance. If it's like, what's your number one goal as it relates to health? If it's losing weight, what's your number one goal as it relates to losing weight? If it's building a business, what's your number one goal as it relates to building this kind of business? And so you want to get into the goal question. And it doesn't need to be something that's very specific out of the gate. So I was just on the phone with one of my salespeople today and training him. He's like, the client didn't show up to the call with a goal. So like, they didn't have a goal. And I was like, yeah. So philosophically, the first thing you need to understand about doing one of these calls is people mostly don't have goals. They haven't spent time to sit down and think about them. So if you're waiting for the client to originate a goal without pulling it out of them, you're going to be waiting for time immemorial. It's going to be decades before you get anything. And so a lot of times people ask this question and they get nowhere because the client's like, well, I don't really know. I just kind of wanted to check this thing out. Or I don't really know. I just kind of wanted to do better financially, which is not really a goal, right? So you got to pull it out. So if the client's like, I want to do better financially, I'm like, great. So what does that mean for you to do better financially? Let's take a look at the next year. How would we know at the end of the year that you're doing better financially? So notice the specificity. I'm trying to get specific. How would we know? It's like, oh, well, I would be making more money. Great. And like, how much more money would that be in making in the stock market or through cryptocurrency? Oh, that would be like if I could make $100,000 more, like that would be a great win. Amazing. So you want to make $100,000 more? Yeah, great. So tell me, what would that $100,000 do for you? Like, how would it affect you personally? Oh, personally, I'd feel great. I feel like I'm winning and I'm accomplishing and like I'm going in the right direction. I'd feel like a sense of relief and freedom. Amazing. And what do you think that would do for your family? Like, what would that do for your family if you were making $100,000 more? Oh, God, they'd be happy. Great. So what would it do for them? Oh, like we would take a vacation. My wife's been wanting to go to Hawaii, you know? And we would go to Hawaii. Oh, amazing. Like, do you guys travel often? No, we don't really travel much. You know, we traveled once in the last 3 years. Okay, cool. So you go to Hawaii. How long would you stay? Oh, we'd stay for like 2 weeks. Amazing. You have kids? Yeah, I got kids. Would your kids go with you? Yeah. Great. What would that mean for your kids if you had $100,000 more? Oh, I could get my kid that those basketball shoes that he wanted and that gear and sign him up for the league and blah, blah, blah. So now you're off to the races. And then what would that mean for you, like professionally? Oh, well, my job is this and I'm making good money, but like it's not great money. And so this would be like a huge win for me to go to my job more excited without attention on just making money. Okay, great. So now we've taken like a not know situation, which is the majority of people you'll talk to. Why don't they know? Because they're coming into an area that they don't know much about. So you're going to get a not know on the goal. Like what do you expect them to come and be like, my number one goal for this is to do ba, 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 ba. And I thought about this whole thing out. They're not going to come and do that. You might get 1% of the people that ever come and do that. So you pull it out of them. So philosophically, they're in a place of not know. They don't know what their goals are. They don't know why they're even showing up. You got to get them there and you got to pull it out. And that's an art of questioning and being curious and wanting to know. So you do it. You pull it out. Great. Now I have all these things about a client who is coming and thinking, I just want to make more money, who wants to make 100 grand, wants to make it in 12 months. It'll do this for the family, do this for vacation, do this for the kids, do this for the basketball league, do this. And all of a sudden you went from a nothing to this incredible vision of what this person wants to accomplish and what it means to their family. And at this point, I've got them sold on their goal. And my number one focus on the enrollment conversation is not to sell them on my product. My number one thing is to sell them on their goal. Sell them on that future that they are not sold on yet. And how could they ever be sold on a future when they don't know what the future looks like? All right, quick pause. So if you're liking this and you want help applying it to your business, just click the link down below and you can book a free strategy call with one of my consultants. And these exact systems I'm sharing with you today, we've helped thousands apply them to their business. Let's get back to it. So there's this element of you need to be curious, number one. And as I told my salesperson today, he's like, yeah, it took me like 20 minutes to get there. I'm like, good. There's this element of helping people. It's called care factor, right? You need to care and be patient and help people. That's the game. So in the enrollment conversation, you're taking care for the person. You want to help them. You're pulling out their goal. You're finding out what they want to accomplish because you care to help them. You're not getting to a goal for the sake of just getting to a goal that doesn't mean anything. I want the person at the end of that conversation on goals to be excited, to put a future there. And if I put a future there for the person about their personal life, their professional life, all these things, and I show them what's possible, and I'm putting a future there, guess what? They can then go create on something. There's something to create on. There's nothing to create on except problems if there's no future. So what do people do through the day? They create on problems. They create on problems because they're not putting a future there. You need to create a future. And if I did that, the enrollment in my training alone, which is already worth the value I gave them right there on the call. It's a free call, and I gave them more value in 45 minutes than they've gotten in the last sometimes 45 years. Because who was last interested in their goal and what they wanted to accomplish? Who got them crystal clear about their future? Who integrated it with their whole family dynamics and life and showed them, hey, this is what your vision in life could be. The people who came before me, not even close. Not even close. Because very few people are trained on this kind of technology of asking questions to pull out the best in people. And And when you have it, you're cut above 99% of all the salespeople out there. And you've been on sales calls before, and you know this. And when you go to most of them, it's like 15 minutes on the pitch or 20 minutes on the pitch. It's like, great, what do you want, blah, 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 and they're done. This, when you pull it out, you get somebody vested in their goals and their future, and boom, it's game on. So now, once you have the goal and how it affects them personally, professionally, financially, spiritually, their purpose, all these things, their kids, then you move to the challenge. Great, what's in the way? What's the challenge of you getting to that goal? And notice how it's not like if somebody to me like came and they downloaded like something like I want to do a podcast. Great. Like I'm not asking about what's the challenge preventing you from doing the podcast. I'm asking what's the challenge that's preventing you from getting the goal. The podcast is a vehicle to get to this, this, and this, and this. So what's the challenge of you getting to this, this, and this? Well, I do want to do a podcast, but I also I don't know this, and I don't know this, and I don't know this, and like this is in the way. And so there's all these other things in the way. And you want to be taking notes on what are all the other things. And then you want to isolate and go say, well, what do you think, out of all the things you said, what do you feel like the biggest challenge is? And they tell you. Like the person, if I'm doing finances, the person might be like, hey, my number one challenge, I think it's like, I really just don't I don't know anything about finance. I'm not educated on money. I don't understand how, create a plan. I don't understand the different vehicles are out there. What's the best? I just don't get it. Okay, got it. So your number one challenge is really you want to understand how different investments work to achieve your goal. Is that right? Yeah, I do, and I don't get it. Okay, cool. Sounds good. And there you've gotten something brilliant. You see, you now have somebody who knows their challenge that's preventing them from getting in their goal. And then finally, as you get through that, then you say, great. So what do you think it's costing you not to achieve your number one goal? What's it costing you not to have the knowledge and investments and the knowledge about this and that? What's it costing you not to have that? And what's it costing you in relation to not getting your number one goal? And they're like, oh, you know what? It's costing me probably millions. If I learned this 10 years ago, I'd probably not be focused on $100,000 this year. I'd be focused on millions. Wow, amazing. And you just get it. And what else is it costing you? What do you think it's costing you for your family? It's just a lot of stress in the family. Everybody's worried and concerned. And we're just not getting ahead. Got it. What else do you think it's costing you? Well, my kids, they want to join all these leagues. We don't have the money to do them. So it's costing family fulfillment, blah, blah, blah. Well, in terms of a dollar amount, what would you put on that? Oh, I already said it's probably costing me millions. Cool. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, your commitment level to achieve that goal, of getting to that goal, and then you repeat it back of making sure that you make that $100,000 in investments, making sure that you understand and you're knowledgeable about investments, making sure that your kid can join the basketball leagues, that you can take that to a vacation to Hawaii, that you can go to work without a lot of stress, that you can feel like you're enjoying yourself because you're winning again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to getting that? Oh, I'm about a 7. Oh, okay, got it. So understood. So I just want to know what would have you be at a 7 on this? Sounds like you're super excited about it. Is it just the fact that you don't know and you're not confident about it? Yeah, that's it. Great. So let's assume I'm going to help you at the end, and I'm going to present to you at the end an opportunity to work with me and coach with me and create a plan for you. So let's assume we were able to do all that for you, and the knowledge was there. How committed are you on achieving your goals? Oh, I'm a 10 then. I'm a 10. Yeah, I definitely want my goals. Great. Or if they say, yeah, I'm just an 8. I'm not really sure how important this is to me. Okay, great. So let's explore that a little bit. For your family, for this, don't you think you should be at a 10 for this? Yeah, I guess I should, right? So what has you being at 8? I just I don't know. I don't know that I want to make a commitment to working with you at this point. And doing this because there's probably going to be an investment with you. I get it, but we're just talking about commitment to your goals. I may be a fit for you. I may not be a fit for you, but this is just about your commitment to your goals. So are you committed to your goals at a 10? Yes, I am. Great. Let's continue. Okay. So if you're serious about scaling your business online and you want help with my one-to-many selling method to sell on podcasts or webinars or virtual stages or in person, then click the link down below and book a free strategy call. My coaches will help you implement it. We've worked with over 30,000 businesses on these very same strategies. Click it down below and go book. See you soon.